Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are talking about the cold steel Laredo Bowie. This, guys, is one cool fighting knife. It's not a bushcraft knife. It's not meant to be a bushcraft knife. Cold Steel is very clear about that in their descriptions and own type of marketing videos. This is meant for fighting bad guys. This is a 10.5-inch blade of 3V steel, one of the toughest steels on the market. We got 8 millimeters thickness on the back. That's like 0.3 inches for those of us who don't use the metric system. And we got a 5 3/16 of an inch coffin shaped handle, which is very classic from 19th century Bowie knives. It's got quite the long clip on it. It's got a nice swedge up there. It's not sharpened, but it is like swedged enough where you can do damage when doing back cut like that. Like, well, front cut, back cut. You can damage that. You can definitely damage somebody's metacarpals if you're in some sort of knife fight with that. We got some sort of stainless steel guard here, and then the handle is G10. It's a nice polish G10, not a whole lot of texturing, nothing rough like an Emerson G10 or something like that. It's very smooth and polished, or even Cold Steel's own Recon 1. This has more texture than this Laredo Bowie. Now, in the batoning that I showed at the beginning here to start off the video, this swedge did damage that baton when I was whacking on it. So there is that. If you do want to use this as, a bushcraft survival knife, keep that in mind. But if I damage my baton, who cares? Because my baton isn't an artsy, crafty thing. Typically, it's just another piece of wood that I can hold to hammer down on with what I'm splitting. So the closest thing that we can compare the Laredo Bowie to is, of course, Cold Steel's own Natchez Bowie. So here are both of these Bowie knives together. The Natchez has an inch longer blade at 11.5 inches, the Natchez here, and it's a bit wider as well, as you can see. Now that extra inch and that width, this way, the tallness of the blade adds some extra weight. So the Laredo is a lighter 16 ounces, and the Natchez is a heavier 22 ounce. And I'm sure this steel butt cap on the Natchez adds some weight as well. You don't have that on the Laredo. Both of them have what are like cable tangs. So it has like a, I don't know, half tang through the handle, and then a cable attaches it down here to that what do you call it? Pin at the end, I guess. So both of these knives are pretty similarly priced out there, right at like 300 bucks. So which one are you going to choose to buy? I think it really depends what you want to use the knife for. I am much more comfortable hiking and going camping with the Laredo because that inch less in length really helps when I'm walking. So the Natchez with that extra inch, it really bangs into my knee when going on a hike and walking on the trail. Whereas the the Laredo stays above my knee. So this 10.5 inch length is much better for that aspect. Now, I do think with this like nice added butt cap, the bigger guard, wider blade, the Natchez is a cooler collectible. Different shaped handle too. I think I do like the Natchez handle much better than the Laredo. So you got some pros and cons of each there. One thing that bothers me about the handle of the Laredo is that it is extremely squared off. These, are corners, and when I'm trying to slice stuff, they really cause some discomfort, in this thick part of my palm here. And I'm not a fan of that kind of, stabbing me in there, I guess we could say, or that corner really coming up in. Uh, just just not comfortable when you're cutting down like that. But you know, going as a fighting knife, you're really not going to feel that type of discomfort. And when I go in a reverse grip, if you want to do that, I don't feel it as much because this flat part right here is in that part of my hand instead of the corner. Now, I don't think a reverse grip is too practical with a knife this size. I feel like that's more for smaller blades, but I'm not a fighting expert. So, with that in mind, this is still a fantastic piece of cutlery and would definitely recommend the Laredo Bowie to anybody.